Hello. Hi, Terry. So glad you're here. Stevie, good morning. All right. So, what is today bringing for you all? What is it that you'd like to focus on, or what's going on? If there is anything to report, I had a nice probably 2.5 mile walk this morning. So, have not been walking as often as I used to. And there's something about walking. Walking just has such a great way of repatterning our body. And it's just so great to get out and to be in nature and to see, like, because it's winter right now, there's so much grass. We've had a lot of rain. So, just to see all this vegetation growing everywhere. And it's just, I love it. I love the moisture in the earth, the dirt, and there's something that's so powerful about nature and healing. So trying to go out for a walk, and the way that I did it to try to get myself back into it, I made a plan with a friend, and I said, "Okay, we're going to talk." She lives in Arizona. I live in LA. My husband said to me, "Who are you walking with?" I said, "My friend." He goes, "I thought she didn't live here." She doesn't. And I showed him the phone. So I went on this walk for 2.5 miles. We spoke for probably 45 minutes or something. And it was great. And, still observing all of the nature and walking and talking. And so sometimes that's a good thing to do as well, is to get a friend to join you on the phone. And then it goes so quick too. Going up the hill, being out of breath. It's interesting. All right. So anything in particular? All right. So we are going to move our bodies. Let me go back to my position, my post. All right. When I came on today, I was looking at the title of this class, Yoga for Stress Reduction. And honestly, that title came out of 2020 when I started teaching live. This used to be two classes I would teach: Yoga Basics, which was the basics of yoga, and it also was restorative yoga. So there was two classes I taught back to back on Saturday morning. I think 9 to 10:15 and 10:30 to 11:45. And so I just put this together, and I think because stress was something that was so profound, and it is anyway. I mean, stress is really behind everything, because stress means that there's more than can be handled, whether that's your body can handle, your mind can handle, your muscles, your bones, your metabolism, your gut, whatever it is. It's when there's more than it can handle is when we have dysfunction and disease. So titled this Yoga for Stress Reduction. And I saw that today and I thought, wonder if I should change that name. And I don't know why I thought that, but really, I think that my whole platform is healthy aging. And everything I do is how can I have the best quality of life for as long as possible. And that is why I do what I do. That's why I show up in the way that I show up for everything that I do. And that's why I share what I share with you. So, reduction, yeah, we're going to be reducing stress in our joints and our bones and our muscles and our mind. And let's do it. So for today's practice, we'll use a strap quite a bit. I'd like to take some tension out of our legs and our feet and our ankles, and I'd like to use the strap for that. So get a strap or a blanket. I mean, a strap, you could use a towel or something if you don't have that. Get that, and then a block, and then a blanket. And today I would like to do a beginning. We're going to come and allow our body and mind to become one, to be very present moment, so that you could be in tune with your body to know what it needs and also to stay safe as you move. The blanket, I'm going to use this to support a back bend. And that's the posture that we really need more of in our body, is a back bend. For all of us, whether we have osteoporosis or whether we are really focused on healthy aging, we need this part of our spine to really support a back bend. So I'm going to put this down on the floor and put it across my heart area. And even though it seems like it's not a very big fold, you'll see that this is the part of the spine that's the least flexible. Thoracic 5, 6, and 7 right behind the heart. So really getting that lengthening to come into the spine, using the blanket to do that. So come onto your body, onto your side. Put your blanket wherever you need, or maybe for you today, you're gonna have a folded blanket. This is just a suggestion, and then you do what's appropriate for you. But really getting that back bend shape in the body is something that's important to do. Take your hand, bring yourself down, and then arrange yourself here so that the blanket is behind your heart. Keep your knees bent at first. Lengthen your neck, then bring your arms up and out to the side. And so this should bring in a decent stretch into your chest, your arms, noticing what you notice with your arms up and out to the sides. And then keep your knees bent. Start to move your body a little bit side to side with your eyes closed. So close your eyes, move your body side to side so you feel yourself rocking from one side of the pelvis to the other. Keep your soles of your feet on the ground. You're moving your kneecaps side to side. And noticing there's a gentle stretch that comes into the middle torso. And then noticing, is it the same on each side when you go side to side? And notice if you hear any clinging, any movement in your spine. Some of these gentle movements can actually readjust your joints. And we do that in the practice of yoga. We readjust our joints often with the movements we're bringing into our body. So pay attention to where you feel tension or release. And then bring your feet so that they are wider than your body and a little closer to your body. Allow your knees to fall in towards each other. Bring your awareness to your head. Lift your head up, long neck. Begin to let your head roll side to side. And see if you could feel the weight of your head and where the weight goes. It's as if you're making a rainbow arc. Notice that. Eyes are closed. Really let it go to the back of your head where it touches the ground. And bring yourself back to center. Do a little tilting of your pelvis. So push your belly button to your spine. Try to flatten the lower back towards the ground. And then release. Letting your awareness move up and down your torso. Feeling and noticing what you notice with this. Bring your awareness into your pelvis. Feel the weight of your body on your sacrum. Feel yourself rocking towards the tailbone and then towards the top edge. So gently bending the lower spine, tilting the pelvis forward and backwards. And then bring yourself to a stationary position. Let's see if we could take tension out of the arms. Bring the arms overhead towards touching and then down. You could let your elbows be bent. This is just about moving, so it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. We're moving the shoulder joint. We're trying to take tension out of the muscles, using gravity to help here, and letting your mind go into your body so you could explore and notice, experience, so that you become your own physical therapist, your own chiropractor. And you don't have to rely on other people to fix you and to heal you, but rather you heal yourself. You keep yourself healthy. Then bring your arms to a stationary position as wide as they can be so you feel a pretty substantial stretch. Eyes are closed. Close your mouth, breathe in and out through your nose. And bring your awareness to your throat as you make a slight restriction. So as the breath comes in and out, you hear a whisper sound in your throat. Let your mind be in your throat. As you hear a sound, if you restrict your throat, this is called ocean breath or ujjayi breath. Let your mind be in your throat. Listen to that whisper. And then let your mind sit and notice that sound. And then repeat the words, I am whispering, on your exhales. And on your exhales, let your awareness go to your throat. And in your mind, say the word on the exhale, I am whispering. Say those words silently to yourself. Let your mind be in your throat. Let your awareness be in your throat. Repeating those words and noticing that whisper as you restrict your throat on the exhale. I am whispering. And slow down your breath and add on to this, I am whispering. And I notice it in my throat. Really extending your exhale, noticing that restriction of breath, hearing that whispering sound in your throat. Keep your mind busy, noticing the whispering, repeating the words in your mind. finishing the breath you're on. And then take 2 more breaths, focusing on your throat. And give the breath back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, raise your arms overhead if that feels okay for you. Take your legs straight if that feels okay for your body. Close your eyes, feel, noticing what you notice. Notice what happens to the low back when you spread the legs straight. And then take the legs wider if they're straight. Notice how that brings in a little relaxation to the low back. That adds a little external rotation to the hip joint, moves the upper leg bone in a different location in your hip. Brings a little more release into the low back. And bring your legs back right underneath you. Notice if you feel a little more tension underneath your back. Maybe, maybe not. And then bend your knees. Come onto your side. Take your hand into the ground, pushing away with the hand and the elbow. Bring yourself up. And come all the way out. So I work privately with clients and I have a lot of conversations with them. And one of the biggest areas that's really important for health, for bone health, for healthy aging is sleep. And this week someone was saying they have trouble sleeping. And so they said they try to do their breath work. They turn on the phone and do a guided meditation. And what I explained is that we have to practice calming our mind during the day when we're not sleeping. We have to have this skill in our treasure chest of healthy aging tools. We have to calm our mind or refocus our mind. And so when you do that, when you bring your awareness to your throat, you repeat these words, I am whispering. That starts to slow down the exhalation. Then you add on, I am whispering, and I feel it in my throat or I notice it in my throat, depending on some of those may be trigger words for people. And this is really a trigger place for some. So developing this skill set, taking the time out during the day to stop, to manage your mental energy, to ground and to slow it down, is how you develop the ability to manage stress. And that's really, really important for health. And then for sleep and managing life situations, whatever that may be. One of the things I think it's really valuable too for as well is if you have any procedures or you have to go to the doctor and have any tests run and they're not always comfortable. So in those moments, managing what's happening to you, being able to take your mind and focus on the throat or on the restriction of the breath, like we just did in the Ujjayi breath. So practice many, many ways to do this so you'll have these tools available to yourself. So take your blanket and bring your blanket into a fold. We're going to begin in a hands and knees position, and if you need to modify because your wrists need that, find some way to modify. And then let's walk around, or crawl around rather, to really deeply set all the joints in the body. And stay on the blanket if kneecaps don't like to be off or on the ground. Go around in a circular pattern. Keep your head lifted. Look forward. So don't let your head flop. Walk or crawl around, which is going to help to set almost every single joint in the body when we crawl. Really interesting how our joints and bones and muscles work and how crawling can be really therapeutic. And it's also a great way to strengthen the wrists. And then bring yourself back, bring yourself all the way up. We're going to stretch, move our wrists so you can either stay here in a kneeling position or come back down onto your heels, or take your block, put your block in between your tushy and your heels, or flip the block, put it on the ground. Whatever is comfortable for you. Come into a seated position, and then let's move our fingers. Look at your fingers. You have a joint at the very top. You have one in the middle of your fingers and one where they attach. 27 bones in the hand, 27 joints, and motion is lotion. So move your fingers Bend all those joints, and then start to imagine you're grabbing something in like maybe clay where there's actually muscular action, using your hands, strengthening your hands. We need grip strength, and they've done studies on grip strength and fractures. There's a greater fracture risk with weaker grip strength. So really keeping this movement in your hands. And then bring your arms up and start to bend your wrist. So you're bending your wrist down, you're bending the wrist, but keep the forearms straight. So this is really a wrist movement. Move your wrist as much as you can. And then the higher you hold your arms when you do this, if your elbows are right off your shoulders, you're actually strengthening your shoulder joint as well. So if you want a little extra strengthening while you're doing this, and then take your wrists in circles in one direction in the maximum range of motion that you can. This is actually rotating the forearm bones, and then the other direction. And then flick your wrists, flick them quite a bit. So up and down, and then it's away from you, like you're flicking away from you, and then up and down, and then pause. Close your eyes, let your awareness go into your hands. Notice if you feel a lot of tingling or movement or blood flow, fluid flow. And then open your eyes. Take your hands by the side, bending the elbows. So the next joint up from the fingers and the wrist would be the elbows, really getting some lubrication to come through our joints. And then keep your hands on your shoulders, up and down with your elbows. Look forward and try not to see your arms at all. So try to keep pushing them back so they're not forward. You're trying to get them to be up and down the side of your body. And then do big circles. Start to bring the shoulder girdle in. So now the shoulder blades are gliding up and down the rib cage in the back. Really softening up, taking out some stickiness there. Let your throat open when your elbows come up. One more. And then bring your hands down on your lap. You can either bring your hands up one inside each other, or palms are down, elbows underneath the shoulders. Then let's stretch the neck, push your ear up towards the sky, and then the other side. So we have 7 vertebrae for our neck. We're stretching the muscles along the side of the neck. Just let this be your head that goes side to side. Don't let your body move at all. Bring yourself back to center, looking with just your head from side to side, stretching the rotational muscles of the upper back and neck. This is really important because for the nervous system needs to be able to see if the coast is clear. So checking to make sure the coast is clear. And then bring yourself back to center. Keep your teeth together. Inhale. Exhale, teeth are straight down, or chin is straight down towards the chest. Teeth are together. Inhale up with the chin. And then bring yourself back to center. So it's really nice to think about moving our joints in our body. Moving all the joints and not letting them just get stuck and sticky. That's so sad to me, actually, to see that people are so stuck in their shoulders and their upper back and neck area. It's so limiting and really affects quality of life. So we're going to come on to our hands. You decide here what you need, if you need to modify your wrists, either turning the fingers out to the side, putting the hands a little more forward, or rolling up your mat, you choose. Take one foot back, flip the toes under, and push the heel back a lot, really pushing your body weight back so you feel the calf stretching. Let your gaze be forward, not directly underneath your nose, but let your nose tip forward a little. And then you could even look up a lot, and that's going to be strengthening for the upper back and neck. And then flip your toes under. It's what we do with babies. We put them on their belly so that they'll lift their head and start strengthening their spine and their back muscles. Again, one foot, really get the pinky toe to touch. And then the other side. Bring yourself back. Bring one hand underneath, a little forward of your shoulder. So, not just underneath, but a little forward. Take the opposite hand. Let's inhale up. We're rotating the spine. Let this hand that's moving up stay pretty far forward. So that shoulder blade goes onto the spine and adds a little rotational stretch there. Do what's appropriate for you. Inhale to open. Exhale down. And then bring yourself back. Bring that hand behind the head. Bring the elbow down. Exhale. Inhale. If your wrist is really having a hard time, push your body weight back a little bit. So you bring the weight into your legs. Let the elbow lead the way. Stay here. And then bring yourself out. So this is a pretty strong rotational stretch, good for spinal health. Let's go to the other side. Inhale to open and exhale down. You inhale when you open and your chest opens. You exhale when you come back to center. And then bring yourself down. Take your hand behind your head, elbows pretty far forward. Exhale, inhale to open. Close your eyes, feel what's happening in your trunk. Feel the muscles below the ribs, feel the low back. Make sure this is appropriate for you, wherever you go. One more, stay open. Lead with your elbow. And then bring yourself down, bring yourself out. Come up, take your fingers, flick your wrists, take that tension out. In the practice of yoga, we bring in stress and we manage it. So we put ourselves in a stress position. Like that's a lot of stress on the wrist to be weight bearing in that flexion position. So there's stress there, which is going to create more strength in that area. Your body's going to respond by getting stronger for you. So that's a way that we strengthen the wrist joint and then increase that range of motion of flexibility so that you have more play in your wrist if you need to break a slip, trip, stumble, or fall. That's another area that I see for people that they let go, that they're not really thinking of or paying attention to, is the wrist, and saying, oh, that's uncomfortable, let me not do it. But instead of that, it's find where you can do it and start to get more and more strength and flexibility. In my 30s, when I first started practicing yoga, I actually had a really hard time with my wrists and my low back. It was really hard to put all that weight on my wrists because I wasn't used to it. And now I've developed that strength over the years because I do this quite often. So let's do a little bit here for glutes, coming back to the wrists. If your wrists are really having a hard time at this point, you could roll up your mat and minimize the flexion in your wrist. That may help. Do that. Let's do our hip joint. Take your palms wide. That'll also help really pushing into the fingers. And you could come up into a frosted cupcake hand. So as if you were holding onto a frosted cupcake, this will really strengthen your fingers. So do what's appropriate for you. Modify accordingly. Let's take the right leg, draw the right leg in, and then flex the foot, lift the right leg up. Inhale and exhale. So you exhale when you come in, and you inhale to raise up. Keep your head forward. Try to lead with the heel and the sole of the foot. Strengthening the opposite hip, strengthening the glute of the leg that's lifting up to the air. Important for healthy aging, lower body strength, glutes, legs. And then bring your leg up in the air, keep it there, little pulses. Reaching through the heel. Try to let the sole and the heel point up towards the sky. Head is looking forward, or you could close your eyes. And then bring your leg down. Let's go to the other side. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bring your leg in. Inhale to lift. Exhale, knee to chest. Push your body weight back so most of your body weight's in that leg that's on the ground. One more. Bring your foot up and pulse with the heel up towards the sky. And then bring yourself down. Come all the way up here in your shins. So that's really great for glutes, low back, lower body, and a lot of hip strength. So the stabilizing hip had to really work. Maybe you felt that in your hip capsule. And then the other lifted leg, there's the glute had to extend and contract, lengthen and contract to do that action. So this is really great for pelvic health, hip health. So I'm going to say that's great for bone health. Go side to side. If you push your body weight side to side, you'll stretch that hip area that we were in. Take your hands on your waist, push your elbows back if you're feeling a little unstable when you do this. Then bring yourself forward. Come into a circular pattern. Push your hips forward, push them to the side, push them back, push them to the other side. And let's go in the other direction. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the blanket and fold the blanket. So for those of you that can come into a squat, let's try a squat. So you have the blanket folded. Bring your heel onto the blanket. So the heels are on the blanket, toes are on the ground. Come to the front edge. So for some, this makes squatting a little easier, having the blanket behind your feet. So if you're able to come down this low, try that. Try this. Heels are on the blanket. Arms are on the inside of your knees. Hands are together, lowering your hands. And then if you feel pretty good, you can move away so that your heels are on the ground. Not everybody has access to do that though. So try to keep range of motion in joints if you still have it. And if you're close, you can maybe still, you could try to achieve that. Take one more breath. Then coming onto the tippy toes, bring your feet a little closer. You're onto your feet. You're going to balance here if you can. So you're on your feet, heels are up, and you're balancing. Very interesting posture, actually, to do this. Ooh. Strengthen the toes, strengthen the feet. And then let's come out. So some of those last few, not everybody can do that. Do what you can. Take your blanket onto the mat and come to sit on the blanket on the edge. And then crisscross your legs, walk your feet away from each other. And the farther away from each other you get, the more you start to stretch the hip capsule. Reaching under, grabbing the flesh. And sometimes even this seated posture, just sitting here, is a stretch for some. So do what is appropriate to you. Then bring your hands onto your thighs. Bring your body forward and then bring your body back. Forward, lifting your heart open. When you bend forward at the hip joint like this, it stretches the hips. So see if you could feel that stretch coming into the hips. And then bring yourself up. Let's do a little side to side, a little lateral flexion, going side to side. Go nice and slow. And then stay on one side. Stay here. Push the opposite leg down. Try to either look up to the sky or push that upper arm back. And then bring yourself up slowly. Come to the other side. Pushing that arm back, looking up to the sky if that's available to you. And then bring yourself up. Take the soles of the feet together. So when we're seated, we can start to get into the pelvis and the low back and the hips and do a little more stretching there. Soles of the feet are together. Hold on to your lower shins. Bring your heart forward, bring your body forward. And then bring yourself up. Bring one leg forward, keep the other one bent. So we're going to do a little extension, so spinal extension, back bend, and we're going to add a little rotation to that as well. So just whatever range of motion you have. One thing to pay attention to is this part of your spine. You want to make sure you're not collapsing. So most of what we're trying to do here is bring length into our body, really lift and open the front spine, and stretching all of the parts that are around this part of our body so that above we're stretching, below we're stretching, releasing tension. So we take away this center place where all the collapse, so much of the collapse, so much of this gravitational force throughout the day ends up here. And that can eventually contribute to spinal fractures if someone has osteoporosis. So we want to kind of move away from that place. Take your hand on the inside, actually, of that knee. When you put your hand on the inside of that knee, open up that part of your chest or shoulder. Open that up, allow that to open up. So going from a collapsed position to a lifted open position. Take your other hand pretty high, look at your thumbnail, exhale. And as you inhale, start to look up and then bring yourself back. Inhale. Inhale. One more. Up and stay up. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Come all the way out. Let's do the other side. So straighten the other leg, bend the other foot. And what can actually come up for you as well is this is where you start to also observe asymmetry in your body or limitations that you have. And I know for me at one point in my life, like 2015, 2016, 2017, so much of this wasn't available to me, these movements. And it was very noticeable what side of my body worked and what side didn't. And so this is also about observation, for you to observe your body. So then you could focus on what you need to focus on healing. So remember, lifting in that center chest, take the hand on the inside of the knee. When you do, push the hand into the inside of the knee and open up this upper part of your body. So going from a collapsed position to a lengthened position. Bring the hand up, the thumbnail is right in front of your eyes, and your eyes follow the thumbnail as you inhale, open. So let's exhale, inhale to open. Exhale back. Notice what you feel on that opposite hip, the straight leg side, when you rotate open. Stretching the abs, the obliques. Stay here, inhale, open, look at your thumb. Lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Take your legs straight, stretch your legs. Reach underneath, grab flesh so you expose your sits bones. And then reach back and grab your strap. Take your strap over your feet, so over the soles of the feet. Bring your feet so that they're hip distance, and then crisscross your strap. And bring your arms so that your arms come underneath your shoulders. Pushing out in the strap, very active feet here. Pushing out in the strap with the pinky toe edge. Sit as tall as you can. This is a postural position. Really get a nice firm hold with your hands. Elbows are underneath your shoulders. This is called Dandasana staff posture. Push your legs into the ground strongly and see how that gives you a little more freedom in your spine to get tall in your spine. Pushing out on the strap a lot. You should feel the side hip joint. This strengthens the hips, strengthens the spine, strengthens posture. If you're able to, put your strap down, bring your hands up, lift your arms up shoulder height, long spine, push your legs into the ground a lot, and let your gaze look forward and up. Lifted heart, long spine. Push your legs down. Push your hands back. Stay here with your arms. Let your head look side to side. Let that tension go out of the upper back and neck a little. Head is back to center. Take one more breath. And then release. So posture work, long hold, definitely a longer hold there. Bring your block in front of you. Take your legs wide. And come to the very front edge of your blanket so you feel like you're falling forward. Block is there so you can push down to keep the integrity in your spine, whatever level you need. Push down. And then take your feet, point and flex. Point and flex. And then let your toes go in and out. So this is a hip joint movement. Keep your legs straight. Toes go in, toes go out. Whatever range of motion you could do. However wide your legs are, whether your knees are bent or not, doesn't matter. You're exploring creating more space in your body. Most of us do not have a wide leg stance throughout the day. It's not a natural body position. So you could develop tightness and stickiness in this part of your body and not be able to do this. This is important because the adductor muscles, they attach onto the inner knee joint. It's a big part of hip joint health and knee health and posture and alignment throughout the body. So doing this wide leg stretch, notice where you feel the tension. Some of you may feel it at the back of your body. Some may feel it at the adductors. It's definitely a posture that most people experience tightness. Many people experience tightness in this. If you're able to bring your torso forward a little, keeping your spine long, front chest open, that'll deepen the stretch for some of you that need that. Making sure you're not rounding your spine. You're not trying to get your head down to the ground. You're trying to bend your hip joint to add more tension and more stretch in your leg muscles. And then bring yourself out. Let's bring the blanket back. I even find that some of the movement from one posture to the other is work. Moving from this position to that position to this position. So really great movement in your joints today. Let's come into the plank posture of strength. Mental strength and physical strength. Pointer fingers are forward. Take one foot back and then the other. You decide if you're going to have your legs off the ground or maybe you need them on the ground today. Long spine. Push through your heels. Push all 5 toes on both feet into the ground. Spread your fingers, push away from the ground. Close your eyes. Take one more breath. Bring yourself out. Shake your hands. Come to sit on whatever position, in whatever position is comfortable. So either on your heels or in a crisscross position. Close your eyes, catch your breath. And then look your eyes open. So that plank was about 1 minute, 10 seconds if you did stay up the whole time. So if you felt today it was a little more, it was harder, it was longer, so was harder. So let's come down onto our backs. Take the blanket to the top of your mat, have your block and your strap handy. Reach your hand long, bring yourself down. And exploring how gravity affects your body from this direction. Have the blanket underneath your head, bend your knees, put your feet on the ground, put your hands on your belly. Breathe in and out through your nose. Breathe down to your belly. And then open your eyes. Explore a little movement here on the ground. Bring one knee in and straighten one leg. Go slow. You're stretching the hip flexor of that extended leg, contracting the hip flexor on the other side. So draw that knee in. Pull the knee as much as you can towards the chest. Feel that stretch in your body. Then hold on behind your shin, draw in a little deeper. Really trying to get the knee to come as high towards your armpit area as you can. Breathe to where you feel the tension. Then hold on to that leg with that arm, same side leg, same side arm, and open the leg out to the side slowly. Feel what happens on the other side. Take your other hand on your hip bone, push the hip bone down, keep your pelvis stable. Bring that leg back to center. Open that leg wide, high and wide. And bring yourself back to center. Unbend the leg, hold on underneath the hamstring and draw the knee towards the armpit. If you're able to grab the big toe, you could grab the big toe. This is half of a happy baby. So this other leg is straight. There's going to be quite a bit of stretch there. Then you have the happy baby. You're either holding on to the toe or holding on underneath the hamstring area. One more breath. And then put that foot on the ground. Let's bend the other leg. Draw the other leg in, straighten the other leg. So depending on what side you're on. Close your eyes, feel what's happening in your body. Draw the leg towards your chest. So holding onto the shin, drawing the knee in, or you could hold on underneath the hamstring. So closing your eyes, feel which one feels better for you. And then hold on to that leg with your hand. And inhale to open to the side, high and to the side. Exhale back to center. And then we're going to come into that half happy baby. So the sole goes up towards the sky. You hold on underneath the hamstring. Either that or you hold on to the toe if that's available to you. Feel what happens to the opposite leg. Eyes are closed, exploring your body, stretching asymmetrically. Take one more breath. Keep that one knee bent and then bend the other knee, draw the other knee in. Rocking side to side. Bring your feet onto the floor. So that little sequence there stretches the hip flexor muscles that go over the hip joint. And one of those is attached to the low back. So the knees to chest position and then opening the knee to the side into that half happy baby can be nice and relieving for those that have back issues, or if you do have a back issue at some point and you need to take the tension out of your body or take the stress out of your back. Let's do a little more with the hip here. This is windshield wiper side to side. So take your feet wide, take your arms up high so that you could try to keep your rib cage stationary and not moving, and let it be just the lower body that moves. Try to separate lower body from upper body. Feet are as wide as the mat. Soles of the feet are on the ground. Close your eyes and let your legs go side to side. Start to go a little farther side to side if it's possible for you. Eyes are closed. Notice how your back responds to this. Then bring yourself back to center. Take your feet wide all the way off the mat. Exhale. As you inhale, push your legs away from you. Let your legs go to the left. Really push the right knee away from you. And then bring yourself back to center. Inhaling, push the left leg away from you. Try to unbend the hip joint as you move your legs to the right. And then back to center. Closing your eyes, feeling this movement in your body. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your legs back and bring your knees in. I find windshield wiper to be one of the most relaxing and therapeutic movements. Knees to the side like that. You could do it in the morning when you wake up. You could do it at night when you go to bed. Unblocking, unclogging, stretching the hips and all they've had to manage throughout the day. If you do it at night, and then in the morning, it gets everything flowing and ready to get up and be receptive. And then the more body wear you become, the better off you'll be at taking care of yourself. Let's bring the feet onto the ground. Take your strap. Bring the left foot up. Take the strap on your arch. And keep your knee bent at first. Hold pretty high. Look at the sole. Sole of the foot is up towards the sky. Pull on the strap in the right hand, which is where the arch of the foot is, And only let the foot tip, not the leg. The leg doesn't move at all. Let your foot tip to the side and then pull on the left strap. Let your foot tip to the left. So foot tips to the right, foot tips to the left. This is ankle joint, and you may feel this in your leg muscles, your calf. Keep your leg stationary. If you want to try it with a straight leg, you can let your leg go straight and do this. You'll feel a deeper stretch. Only the foot is moving side to side. And then bring yourself back to center. Take the strap to the top part of your foot. You're going to inhale to bend your knee and exhale, straighten your leg, pushing your heel up towards the sky. Inhale to bend, exhale to straighten. And see if you feel that all the way to your glutes, to your tushy. Stay here. Pull the strap down where your toes are. Try to feel a pretty strong sensation at the back of the calf. And then release. Bring the strap down so that it's right where the arch becomes the heel. So kind of at the lower part of your foot. Wrap your hands around the strap. Come to a straight leg if you can. The other leg is bent. Push the leg away, pull the leg down, and now guide the leg back towards the wall behind you. Create the deepest sensation you can in your leg. If your leg is straight, you're pulling on your pelvis. You're going to strengthen the pelvic bone. This helps to strengthen the body for proper forward folding, which is safe for your spine. Pull the leg back, push it away from you. Take one more breath. And then bring the right foot up. Bend the right knee. Take your hands a little higher on the strap. Knee is bent. Pull on the strap that's in the left hand so the foot tips to the left. Only the foot moves. And then pull on the strap in the right. Left, right. If you want to straighten your leg, you could straighten your leg. It gets a little deeper, more ankle joint. The key is that the leg is staying stationary and only the foot is tipping side to side. So it's an ankle joint movement. Then bring the strap to the top part of the foot, so the widest part of the foot. Bend your knee a little bit. Inhale. Exhale to straighten your leg. Inhale to bend. Exhale, straighten. Come all the way straight. Pulling the foot down towards you, heel up towards the sky. And then release. Bring the strap down so it's where the end of the arch and the heel begin. Take your hands down the strap, wrap your hands around. Pull the strap down or pull the leg down into this hip joint. Push the leg away and now guide the leg towards the wall behind you. Straight leg. Push the leg away, draw the leg towards the wall behind you. Create as much tension as you can. This is when you bring stress into your body, stressing out the pelvic bone, pulling on the pelvic bone with the hamstring muscles, creating more bone strength in your pelvis. Push the leg away, draw the leg towards the wall behind you. One more breath. And then bend your leg. Take the strap off, draw the knees into your chest. We're going to do one of my favorite healthy aging postures, which is bridge pose. This is tremendous for strengthening the back of the body, strengthening the spine. Bring the block between your knees. This will help to activate the center midline of protection. Walk your feet as close as you can get them to your body. Slide the shoulder blades to the center of your body. Move the blanket away from your head. If your shoulder blades moved, move them back. You're either going to do bent arms, straight arms, or clasp underneath. Lift your head, lengthen your neck. When you lift your body away from the ground, you want to bend your spine as much as possible and let the weight go to your upper back. Push your feet into the floor, squeeze your block. Tilt your pelvis backwards, low back goes towards the ground. Exhale. And then inhale, eyes are closed. Peel your spine away from the ground. Try to lift as much of your upper back off the ground as you can. Hands in the position that's appropriate for you. And use your hands or your arms to push into the ground to support your torso. Deep breaths. Squeeze your block, lengthen your knees, push into the ground with your feet and your arms. Take one more breath. Bringing yourself down slowly. Block out to the side. Blanket under your head. Knees into your chest. It's time for Shavasana, allowing the integration of everything that happened in the practice today. Find a new place, more movement, more range of motion. Come into your Shavasana, close your eyes. Let your awareness go to that gentle breath, that gentle whisper in your throat with the inhale and the exhale.
Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nimame Akame 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 Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Nimame Akame
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Let your awareness go up and down your body, noticing what you notice. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees, draw the knees into your chest, coming onto your side, and coming all the way up to a kneeling or a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands together, touching each other, and then pressing the heart to the hands, hands to the heart, long spine. Let's close the practice with sound. Take an exhale. Inhale. Bowing in gratitude. Namaste. This practice today had a lot of movement and fluidity and joint work. The strength postures that we did today, the Dandasana, staff posture, plank, bridge, were all held for a pretty long time, more than a minute. So sometimes holding longer postures can develop more strength. And those three postures in particular have a lot of muscles they use at once. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak, when you do the postures that use a lot of muscles. Making the practice appropriate for yourself, holding as long as you can, And the slower we move and the longer we hold, the more advanced and really truly the stronger the practice is. So a lot of joint movement, a lot of joint strengthening today. Notice how you feel after, and that's how you determine what's appropriate for you. All right. So hope that was good for you ladies that I know that are here, and then whoever else is here. If anybody would like to share or ask questions, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, good. Yes, it's a beautiful day. It is, Stevie. I will. Thank you. You're welcome, Terry. Hope that's appropriate for you. Yeah. All right. And then whoever else is here, goodbye. Have a lovely day. And thank you for joining me.